Just setting up. We will begin shortly. Hey, Baronator, welcome back. You have to make sure that this is properly set up. Alright. Give about another minute and we will get started. Hey, my day's going good, man. How's your day going? And I will turn off the music in a second. Hey, Javier, good to have you. Good to have you. Baronator, how's your day going? All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and give me 1 second. Having a technical difficulty with the camera. And we will go ahead and get started soon. Hey, Chibi. Welcome, Chibi. All right, guys. Sorry about that. All right, guys. We are doing another game night. Gotta go in about 7. You'll be back. Awesome. All right, guys. We are doing another game night where I host the games and you guys play them. I will keep score on the scoreboard. And whoever gets the highest score today, who's not already in the Hall of Fame, will be entered into the Hall of Fame. Hey, Phantom, welcome back. What times do I stream? I will be making a post every day in the morning about when I will stream. So I will be making a post. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring out the times, but I would like to get to the point where I'm streaming multiple times a day, which seems to be, for now, at least a few days out of the week. Guys, we're going to kick it off with What's That Balloon? The first person to correctly guess what I am making gets a point on the scoreboard. I have also added a new game for today, and we're going to be playing another game that I added yesterday, and the fan favorite, Blurt, of course. So the first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. I posted on the community post on YouTube. YouTube allows community posts. So if you go to, hey, Mad Z, welcome. No, it is not a sword. Alright, guys, first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. Alright, guys, what is it? It is not a bike, it is a swan. Congratulations. Let me go ahead and add Phantom to the scoreboard. Phantom, welcome to the scoreboard. You're already in the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Champions. And guys, you only have to earn 1 point on this show to be entered into the Hall of Champions. All right, we're going to continue on. We're going to play another round of Guess That Balloon, where the first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. And then we're going to move on to Blurt right after this. Blurt is a fan favorite from the subscribers. Now, guys, this is a live game show where I host them and you play them, and I do keep score. I pop that balloon. That is unfortunate. All right, we're going to try that again, guys. Guess that balloon. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. And, of course, as per usual, one person loving the sound effects. Awesome, Phantom. One person will enter the Hall of Champions every single stream. As you guys can see below, we have about 16 or so people in the Hall of Champions. Whoever gets the most points in one stream who is not already on the Hall of Champions will be entered. And you only have to earn 1 point in this game ever to be entered into the Hall of Fame, which the Hall of Fame currently has almost 100 people. First person, it is a ray gun. That is correct. 1 more point for Phantom. 1 more point for Phantom. All right, guys, we're going to move on to a fan favorite of Blurt. All the subscribers seem to love Blurt, or at least most of them do. All right, guys, Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. Hey, Anissa, welcome back. The first definition, one of the thin parts that stick out from the body of a fish. The second definition, a living thing that is not a plant. Hey, welcome, Fire Harry. Fin is correct. That is 1 point for Javier. And animal is correct. So that is 2 points for Javier. Javier, let me go ahead and add you guys to the scoreboard. If you see a pink or red name on this scoreboard, that means they are already in the Hall of Champions and they are not competing. Welcome to the scoreboard for today, Javier. They are not competing to enter the Hall of Champions. The only people competing to enter the Hall of Champions are in purple or blue marker. We're going to play another round of Blurt. Anybody's welcome to play. All you have to do is comment to play. All right, we're going to play another round of Blurt where I will read the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a sheet of canvas stretched across a metal frame and fastened with springs. The second definition, a thin pointed weapon that looks like a small arrow. Hey, welcome everybody who's just joining in for the first time. Mattress is incorrect. Trampoline is correct. 1 more point to Phantom. The second definition repeated, a thin pointed weapon that looks like a small arrow. First person to correctly guess will get a point on the scoreboard. It is not a bullet. I will repeat the definition. It is not a spear. A thin pointed weapon that looks like a small arrow. I'll give you guys a hint. It is a dart. That is correct. It is a dart. And on my screen, and everybody is welcome to play. On my screen, the first person who said trampoline was Phantom, and the first person on my screen who said dart was Javier. Another point for both of them. Oh, I see you guys are racing to try to beat the high score of the stream. The high score of the stream is currently 4-9, held by Javier Goatman. Everybody else will be competing for entering the Hall of Champions, while people who are already in the Hall of Champions are competing to break the high score. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to give me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first and up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, to breathe in a noisy way while sleeping. The second definition, the front of the lower jaw. Snore is correct. On my screen that says Barinator got it first. Chin is correct. 1 point for Javier. Barinator, let me go ahead and add you to the scoreboard. And Barinator is also a previous champ. Barinator, welcome to the scoreboard. We currently have nobody. No new players yet entering the Hall of Champions. So as soon as a new player gets 1 point, they will be in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. Hey, Mad Z and Daniel, welcome. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words in the first person. Hey, have a good one, Barinator. We'll see you back on the next couple streams today. The first person naming the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, and up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a musical instrument that has pipes through which air is blown to produce different tones. The second definition, the countries of Asia. It is not a flute. It is not a trumpet. It is not a bagpipe. Welcome back, the Wizard, also in the Hall of Champions. I will repeat the definitions. The first one repeated, a musical instrument that has pipes through which air is blown to produce different tones. It is not technically Asian countries. The second definition is the countries of Asia. Remember, guys, typically with a, hey, Mad Z, no problem. I hope to see you come back and try to earn a point and get on the Hall of Fame. This game is free to play for everybody. I host them, you play them. It is not wind. It is not Asia. Orient is correct. Orient was the correct. I will repeat the first definition. A musical instrument that has pipes through which air is blown to produce different tones. Orient is correct. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, keep guessing. Keep guessing for the first one. I'm going to go ahead and add John to the scoreboard. John, welcome to the scoreboard. And it looks like you're currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions, since everybody else currently on the scoreboard is already in the Hall of Champions. These are 2-hour-long streams with a 5-minute break halfway through. And John, it looks like this is your first time earning a point on the scoreboard ever in this game. So welcome to the Hall of Fame, where once your name enters, it never leaves, and I will be adding your name after. All right, guys, I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock. If nobody can tell me what a musical instrument that has pipes through which air is blown to produce different tones, if nobody can give me the definition for that, we will. It starts with an O. If nobody can give me the definition in a few seconds, we are going to move on and nobody will get the point. All right, it was organ. It was organ. Organ was the correct answer. Only 1 point was given out to John, who's currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt. We're going to play oh, the wizard said he said organ. Give me 1 second. I do like to be fair. The wizard did say organ. I apologize for that mistake. Let me go ahead and add the wizard to the scoreboard. Thank you for catching that. Welcome to the scoreboard, the wizard, who is also already in the Hall of Champions. My apologies on the mistake. My apologies on the mistake. I do make them, and I appreciate when you guys catch them. And guys, please remember to keep the chat appropriate. We're going to play another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I will read the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: soft white crystals formed by water vapor that freezes high in the air and falls to the ground. All right, Daniel, I will check on that in 1 second. Daniel. The second definition: a paper tube containing an explosive and a fuse used to make noise during celebrations. Snow is correct. First person on my screen who said snow was Javier. Javier currently in the lead of breaking the high score with 5. Firecracker is correct. First person on my screen who said firecracker was also Javier. And Daniel, I'm going to go back and make sure I value being fair. So give me 1 second. I will check my chats right now. You said pipe organ first. Give me 1 second. Oh, and on my screen, he did say it first. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. I do apologize, wizard. I will be taking your point away fairly, but I will keep your name on the scoreboard because I know you're already going to catch up. Give me 1 second, guys. I am going to show you my chat. I do apologize for that, Daniel, and I do appreciate you speaking up. On my chat, Daniel did say pipe organ above the wizard. You guys see that? It's up. Cool. I do apologize. Let me correct that mistake. All right. I got to go ahead and add Daniel. Daniel, welcome to the scoreboard. 1 point for Daniel. And Daniel, it looks like this is the first time you've ever earned a point on this game show, which means I will be entering your name into the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. You have to earn 1 point sometime on this game show to enter the Hall of Fame, but you have to have the most points and not already be in the Hall of Champions. Whoever has the most points by the end of the stream will enter the Hall of Champions. All right, guys, we're going to continue on to another round of Blurt. We're going to continue on to another round of Blurt. Good job, Daniel. All right, currently, John and Daniel are tied for entering the Hall of Champions with 1 point. I'm going to move on to another round of Blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. And the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a lively, athletic girl. The second definition: a chemical element that is a metal having a silver color. It is liquid at normal temperatures and used especially in thermometers. These are tough ones. Every other round of Blurt is either... Oh, Mercury is correct. Every other round of Blurt is either challenging or easy. Mercury is correct. The first person to say it on my screen was the wizard, and I do use my chat as a tiebreaker. And I can always show my chat as well. All right, I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock for the first one. because I do believe it is a little difficult of a definition. A lively, athletic girl. I did not the definition for this word. All right, does not look like female athlete. It is typically one word. Nobody gets the point. It is tomboy. I'm going to go back and check and see, make sure nobody said it. Nobody said it. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another round of Blurt. Sometimes this is a hard one to give clues on for Blurt. Sometimes it is a hard one. Usually I go off of the words you guys say, but we're going to continue on to another round of Blurt, and then we're going to try out another game. That one was weird. I agree. That one was weird. All right, guys, moving on to another round of Blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, the color of chocolate and coffee. The second definition, small cubes marked on each side with from 1 to 6 dots. Brown is correct. The second definition repeated, and dice is correct. Dice is correct. That fireworks for the new sub. All right, on my screen, which I can always put my screen to confirm, looks like Almighty Royal got both points. All right, give me a second, guys. I have to add Almighty Royal to the scoreboard. Almighty Royal, welcome to the scoreboard. You have to make sure I spell your name right, because after the stream, I'll be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. And Almighty Royal, it looks like you just came into the scoreboard with 2 points, which means you're currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. I enter one person into the Hall of Champions every single stream who is not already in there. Typos are okay for some of the games. The game we're going to move on to next does not allow typos, though. All right, we're going to move on to one more round of Blurt, and then we're going to switch up the game for a little bit. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first word, no, thanks for playing, Almighty Royal. The first definition, and up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, the large round nut of a tropical palm tree. The second definition, a smooth, sweet mixture of sugar, butter, and sometimes eggs that is used to cover baked goods like cakes and cookies. Coconut is correct. Another point. Hey, Son Goku, welcome back. Icing is correct. On my screen, it looks like Almighty Royal got it. They got them both first. Almighty Royal, and I can always pull up my screen to show you. We use my chat as a tiebreaker. Simon D, welcome. Almighty Royal, it looks like you're in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions, but this stream is not over until 2 hours. I'll also be streaming 2 more times today, and one person will enter the Hall of Champions every single stream. Hey, cool guy, welcome back. All right, guys, password. We're going to move on to password, where I am going to give you guys, right now, Simon, it's your good timing. We're moving on to password. I added this game yesterday. I have another game I will be adding today. Oh, Ref Wolf's back as well. Welcome. All right, guys, password is where I'm going to give you guys clues and hints, and you have to guess my 1-word password based off of the clues and hints. However, this is a more strict game than all of the other ones. You are not allowed to have a typo. Capitalization does not matter. Spelling does count here to the exact letter. Spelling counts, capitalization does not. Because the game is called Password, I decided it'd be more fun to make it a little more strict. Now, on all other games, typically I am okay with typos, not this one. All right, guys. Oh, I did do this board yesterday, so I'll move on to another one. All right. You need to use this. This is one of the hints. You need to use this to purchase things. The first person that gets my 1-word password, you go to work to earn this. Money is correct. All right, and it looks like I'll be adding Ref Wolf to the scoreboard. Ref Wolf, welcome back. Thank you for coming to another stream. Welcome back. Now, guys, on the scoreboard, you will see names in red and names in blue. If they're a name in red, they're already on the Hall of Champions, not eligible to re-enter, but they are trying to beat the high score. If you see a name in blue, you guys are the ones competing to enter the Hall of Champion, currently with Almighty Royal in the lead. Just got back from football training. Well, welcome. It's a great way to train the mind now. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of password where you have to guess my one-word password to get a point on the scoreboard based off the clues and the hints that I give. You must spell it exactly correct. All right. This is an instrument, and I do believe it is not commonly played. I do not at least see it commonly played. In fact, I've only ever seen it played a couple times in person. It is a combination of two words. It is a combination of two words. It is still one word, though. So you could cut it almost right down the middle and have two different words. It does start with a B. I will give you guys that. It starts with a B. You can carry it around. I've seen it carried around while they're playing it. I believe you blow into it. It is a really weird instrument. Very uncommon to see people walking around with it. It is not a banjo. Now, do remember that this word could be broken up into two different words. You could take the first three letters into one word, the last four letters into another word. Bagpipe is correct, and it is spelled right. Also, if you guys have the typo in there, I'm not even going to tell you that you got it right if you have the typo. I will not tell you that you have it right. Javier currently with 7 points. Guys, we're going to move on to another game, another round of password, where you guys have to, where I'm going to give you clues and hints. It's okay, Simon. I'm going to give you guys clues and hints, and the first person to correctly guess my password to the exact letter will get a point on the scoreboard. All right. Things. Some guns, if they are not semi-fire, they could be this. Also, when you want to make something less manual and have a system for it, it could also, you would want to make it this. Automatic is correct. 1 point for Almighty Royal. Almighty Royal, you're currently in the lead with 5 points. Normally, I would have accepted auto. However, for this game, I decided it'd be more fun if you guys got it exactly to a T. Is my stream lagging, or is that on your end, son? Because I do know some people it's not lagging. Okay, we're gonna continue on. All right, guys, we're gonna play another round of password where I'm gonna give you guys clues and hints to my password. And the first person to correctly guess my one-word password by the letter will get a point on the scoreboard. You would look out to this and see the sunrise or the sunset. Your eye can only see as far as this line. It is where the earth meets the sky. Horizon is correct. 1 more point for Almighty Royal, I believe. Let me double check. All right, another point for Almighty Royal. We're going to play another round of password, where you guys must guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give. You must have it correct. No spelling issues are allowed. Capitalization does not matter. Almighty Royal, you're doing great. You're doing great. And for a quick reminder for anybody new here, which it looks like it's a lot of regulars, but this is a 2-hour stream where one person will enter the Hall of Champions every single time, and we do take a 5-minute break halfway through. All right, guys, you have to do this this is what it's called when you add air into a balloon or into a tire. It is not blow. It is inflate. It is inflate. That is 1 point on my screen for the wizard. The wizard, there you are. Javier, you must be careful. I remember the wizard came in on one of the other streams the other night and said he's coming for your high score of 49 points. Javier currently holds the high score on this stream of the most points earned in one 2-hour stream. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another. Yes, we have competition. We have competition up here to try to beat a couple different records. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another round of password where I'm going to give you guys clues and hints. And the first person to correctly guess my one-word password will get a point on the scoreboard. If you spin around in circles many, many, many times, you will be this. If you have vertigo, you feel this often. Dizzy is correct. On my screen, the wizard got it first, and we do use my screen as a tiebreaker because we need to have some kind of system. All right, Almighty Royal, I will show you my screen. Almighty Royal, I will show you my screen, and I will explain this. I don't mind explaining this. So on the internet, because of how messages need to be sent, since you guys did send it very, very close in time to each other on both of your screens, on probably a few of you guys' screens, it'll say that you sent it first. We do need a way to be fair and to break ties. So we are going to go off of my screen. I'm sorry if it's not always the most fair, but we do need some kind of system. The wizard is on top of Dizzy, and I'm going to go back and show you guys that we were, yep, that's when we were playing Inflate. If I scroll down, you can see the wizard said Dizzy, then everybody else said Dizzy. And we just do need some way to break ties. And eventually, and hopefully in the next few days, it is a top priority of mine. I just have to make sure I'm following YouTube's guidelines that I can have the chat on screen. I just have to have a very extensive block list so that way I don't get in trouble. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another round of password where I will give you clues and hints to my one-word password, and the first person to correctly get it right, letter by letter, we'll get a point on the scoreboard. Wolves do this at night. Wolves, hey, just for fun fishing, welcome back. Wolves do this at night. You can get dogs to do it as well. Howl was correct. Howl was correct. All right, Simon, let me go ahead and add you to the scoreboard. Simon D, welcome to the scoreboard. Simon D did fight a fierce game last night to try to, and just for fun fishing did as well on another stream. These two were great competitors. These two were great competitors last night to try to enter the Hall of Champions, where one person does enter every single stream. Oh, you guys saying no, it's Daniel that got it. I will go ahead and, hey, just for fun fishing, it is good to see you back. I'm very glad that you joined. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my screen again. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my screen again. I don't mind doing it. All right, you said Daniel got it. Hey, here's where Daniel said it on my screen, and here's where Simon said it. Simon on my screen did say it first. If we go all the way back, we were on the last one here. We scroll back, and Simon says it there. Javier is asking you guys to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it if you did, but only if you're having fun and you plan on coming back and playing more games together. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of password. Hey, cool guys, just locking in. Good, good, good. Locking in. All right, guys, we're going to play another round. First one to 1,000 points wins. The scoreboard resets between every single stream. You only have 10 minutes. I am streaming 2 more times today. An hour after I stop each stream, I will get back on. We're going to move on to another round of password where I will give you guys clues and hints to my one-word password. And the first person to guess it correct, letter by letter, will get a point on the scoreboard. You could boil water in this on a stove. And people usually boil water in this. It's specifically only really for boiling water. I guess you could maybe make tea in it too, but I've only ever seen people put water in it. Sometimes you see the word tea in front of this. Kettle is correct. I do have to be careful with how fast I give the point out because I have to make sure you guys spell it right. Almighty Royal, you're already in the Hall of Fame where you only have to earn 1 point on the show to enter. It's the Hall of Champions that you are competing for. It is the Hall of Champions. On my screen, the first person to say kettle was Javier. One more round of password, and we're going to switch it up, guys. One more round of password, and we are going to switch it up. We have about 25 minutes until the break. Hall of Champions, that is right. Just know, worthy competitors have entered. worthy competitors have entered. Sure, Simon, we can. I actually have to have that new card. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another round of password where I will give you guys clues and hints to my one-word password, and the first person to correctly guess it, letter by letter, will get a point on the scoreboard. If you are famous, or if you are maybe a ruler, or if you are in danger, somebody would do this with you. A team of people would do this for you. They would blank you around. It's not quite, if you are in... Not kidnapped, but that's funny. Security's a lot closer. Protect is probably very close. These are none of the words, though. A security detail is typically what does this for you. A security detail will blank you around if you are important or have a lot of money to pay them, or if you're in danger. And sometimes if you are at let's say you're at a club, and escort is correct. I was going to say sometimes you're at a club, you can get kicked out. The bodyguard will blank you out. Escort was correct. Just for fun fishing. Hey, just for fun fishing. I know you're only here for a couple minutes, but welcome to the scoreboard. I don't care if you're free for a couple minutes or not. You're getting into the scoreboard. And just for fun fishing, just so you know, I will be doing 2 more streams today, so that means 3 people can enter the Hall of Champions today. And just for fun fishing, of course, I remember you from last night. I think you joined the last stream, or the second to last stream. All right, guys. As per requested by Simon D, we're going to play a round of Guess That Balloon. Oh, that snap. That snap does not feel good. The first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. First person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. You may start guessing whenever. It is not a sword. It is not a snake. Not a cat, not a dog. Oh, mouse would be correct. A pickle is a hilarious answer. I will have you know a pickle is a hilarious answer. It is a mouse. I'm going to go ahead and finish the design so you guys can see what it looks like. Guys, depending on how much Alright, it just fell apart. I'm just going to go ahead and give the point to the mouse. Whoever said mouse. On my screen, it would be Simon D, who got it correct. We're going to play another round or 2 of Guess That Balloon, and then we will carry on with another game. Stephen Cameron, hello. I remember you. Welcome back. I remember you entering the Hall of Fame recently. Welcome back, Stephen. Guys, we're playing another round of Guess That Balloon. We're going to play one more round of one or 2 more rounds of Guess That Balloon. Remember, the colors do not matter. It is not a dog. It is not a gun. Good to see you're still here, Ref Wolf. Not a cat. I think Ref Wolf got it. He said snack. Spelled wrong, and I think he just meant to say fish. I think he meant to say... Oh, I'm sorry. I think he meant to say snake, but it is a little snake. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to check who was the first person to say snake. It looks like it was Ref Wolf. Ref Wolf, 1 point for you. I do accept typos in this game. That is okay as long as you are close enough. Or if I can justify seeing autocorrect changing to that answer. All right, guys. One more round of Guess That Balloon. And then we're going to move on to a new game that I have added for the stream today. Snack was funny. I admit Snack was funny. I did add a new game for today that you guys will be the first to try out. I'm excited to see how it goes. It's not a hot dog, however, I can make a hot dog. It is not a wiener dog. It is not a horse, not a poodle, not a fish, and not a dog, and not a dog. Sometimes you guys can get it just by the face, although I will admit this face is actually a popular face for many different types of animals, so sometimes you can't really tell until the body. Tiger or a lion would be correct. Tiger or lion would be correct. I didn't draw the face on it, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that so we can keep playing. All right. Tiger was correct, but I will give it to lion because this is a balloon animal, and it's the equivalent of pretty much blocks. Who's the first person to say tiger or lion? On my screen. It would be Javier. Congratulations. All right, guys, you said it was Jonathan. Let me see if it was. I will check. I will check. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you guys my chat, and we're just going to do this together so we can move on to the next one. I am actively checking right now. I do believe I gave the point to Javier. The last one I made was a snake, so we're going to pull up snake right now. We're going to do this live. We're going to see who the first person to say tiger or lion was. We have snake, horse, fish, snack, that's funny. Yeah, gun, dog, could be a snack. It could be a snack. Cat, mouse, horse, sword, bee, worm, sword, hot dog, wiener dog, axe, dog, horse, fish, poodle, fish, axe, bear, frog. I think the anteater, hat, bear, teddy, slingshot, clown, tiger. Here is Javier. We're the first person to say tiger. I actually do not even see where John answered. So it was, the point is going to Javier. If you do see that I made a mistake during that, please let me know. Congratulations, Javier. You're going to keep your point. That was disputed, but it looks like that is final. All right, guys. We are going to be adding a brand new game. Some of you guys may be familiar with this game, but of course I have to have variations of all of these games just specifically for the chat. I'm glad you like the judge noise. All right, guys. This game is called 5-second rule. We're going to play a variation I've made just for here. Very simple. What I'm going to say, you guys are going to have to name 3 things, and I will give you the category. I will say, name 3 things. You must put all 3 things. Hey, just for fun fishing, hope to see you back. You guys will have to put all 3 things in one comment. You're allowed as many comments as you want, but each comment must contain 3 things. And I will read them, and the first comment to have 3 things that correctly match this category, in my opinion, will get a point. So we're going to start off with name 3 kitchen appliances in one comment. And you can do more than one comment if you think you messed up your first one. We're going to play a 5-second rule. Name 3 kitchen appliances. Yes, you must put all of them in one. Spoon, knife, and fork are not appliances. Those are utensils. Definition of an appliance, a device or a piece of equipment designed to perform a specific task, typically a domestic one. I'm going to Google it. A pan is a cooking utensil, not an appliance. I'm going to go ahead and go back up and see. Pan, oven, fridge is incorrect. Toaster, oven, microwave. I'm going to give it to you. Those are appliances. So, Almighty Royal, you've got that one. Hey, Mary A, welcome back. Welcome back. You guys, please see me put a dot in the chat. That's just for me to be able to keep track between rounds. All right, guys, we're going to try another round of 5-second rule. And I do realize that these answers are subjective, and I will be the final say on that. We're going to move on to another round of 5-second rule where you guys must name 3 things in this category and put them all in one comment, and I will be the judge to determine if they fit in the category or not. I will be as fair as I possibly can, and with disputes are okay. Name 3 things you can chew. Name 3 things you can chew. I will allow goofy answers, but you can't chew a rock. But I will still allow goofy answers. If you can chew it, you can chew it. Gun, paper, food. I'm not accepting gun. You cannot chew a gun. Oh, gum. That makes way more sense. Gum, paper, food. Almighty Royale. You've got that one. That's, I meant to say that's cool. No gun chewing on here. We are supposed to have fun. That is a funny typo. I should have realized that is a typo. My apologies. You did put pasta and pizza spaghetti. However, Simon, you're supposed to give me... No, it's funny. It's okay, Almighty. It was funny. Simon, you're supposed to give me 3 things, not 2. 3 things, not 2. We're going to move on to the next round of 5-second rule. This is the first time that we are trying this game on this stream. Simon, I only see... Oh, Simon, you did say pasta, pizza, and spaghetti. I see that. However, Almighty on my screen was still ahead of you. I didn't even see the pasta. I thought all of them were going to be emojis. Yeah, on my screen, though, Almighty Royal is above you. I can always show you to verify, but he is above you. So, all right, we're going to continue on. We're going to play another round of 5-second rule. This is where you guys have to name 3 things in the category I give you in one comment, and the first person to correctly get them gets a point. Name 3 diseases in one comment. First person to correctly name 3 diseases in one comment. And I am Googling stuff as well to make sure that I'm fair and accurate. I'm not in the medical field, and so I am just... Technically, a flu is a virus, not a disease. I don't know, is a virus and a disease the same thing? I'm not in the medical field at all. I actually am going to sift through these comments so that way viruses and diseases are not the same. Just Google it. I highly regret asking this question, actually, but I highly regret asking this question because I now have to do a lot of research, so I'm going to very selectively pick them moving forward. But that is okay. This is trial and error. All right. But it's cool because I get to learn, but I don't like how slow it is. So, HIV is a virus. HIV is a virus. Malaria, flu, cold. Flu is a virus. COVID, I believe, is also a virus. Guys, we might have to just skip this one. But I'm going to keep reading them. We're going to give this point out. Oh, COVID is an infectious disease, it says. Okay. All right. But it was still, a flu is wrong. COVID, cancer, cholera. I think, guys, this one is, I apologize with how slow that this point is. Oh, it looks like cholera is a disease. Cancer, I believe, as well. Sorry, I did not study biology, so I do just have to check. And COVID was a disease. All right, Simon D, you're going to get that. I'm going to double check on COVID. And I will try not to do a category that I have very little knowledge in. Do apologize for the slowness of that one. But we do get to learn a little bit on the way, so. All right, guys, we're going to play another one. Oh, crap. This one would take forever. I do not know all of the presidents, and I'm also trying not to do U.S.-specific cards because I do know only a quarter of my audience is even in the U.S. All right, name 3 continents in one comment. The first person to name 3 continents in one comment will get a point on the scoreboard. This one should be easy, guys. Asia, South America, Europe is acceptable. Ref Wolf, you get a point. Nope, we're not doing that. And guys, I do understand that only a quarter of my viewers are in the United States, so I have committed to not asking any United States specific questions. So, oh, Simon, you said it was you. On my screen, it was not, sir. I can show you my chat. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I mean, I still, you guys, even I know that we're using my chat as a tiebreaker. That doesn't mean I still don't make mistakes with it, though. Okay, I admit I still do make mistakes, and I'm trying very hard to get the chat permanently on to show up. But I have to follow YouTube's guidelines, and I know a lot of other streamers just have it up, and a lot of inappropriate things are said. However, just because somebody else does it doesn't mean I can do it. So I'm trying to name 3 brands of toothpaste in one comment. White is not a brand of toothpaste, but surprisingly, black, spelled a little bit differently, was. And if Close Up is a brand of toothpaste, I've never heard of it, but I can just check. Google's awesome. Yep. All right. The first person to get the point would be Daniel. Where are you, Daniel? We're going to continue on. Yeah, it's spelled BLAQ, but it was close enough. But the white was not a brand of toothpaste. All right, moving on to another round of 5-second rule. We're going to probably play 2 more rounds and then switch up the game a little bit before we go on break. You were close, Simon. Surprisingly, I was surprised you were close. Nope, we're not going to do that one. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one. All right, you guys must name 3 fonts in one comment. The first person to correctly name 3 fonts in one comment will get a point on the scoreboard. This is a funny one. I do a lot of graphic design, and fonts are my least favorite part about graphic design because of how many they are. Give me 1 second. I'm looking into it. Gray is a font. I don't think you're going to be correct, though, Simon. No, white is not a font. White is not a font. Sans, italic, and Versace. Ref Wolf, that is a point for you. Hey, Chloe, welcome back. Hey, that's okay. That's okay, Simon. Sometimes you just have to guess. All right, that is the last round of 5-second rule that we're going to play right now, at least. All right, guys, we're going to do another couple rounds of... That's okay. I'm familiar with the font. You're close enough. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of password where the first person to correctly guess my one-word password based off the clues and hints that I give will get a point on the scoreboard. You must, letter for letter, have it right. Capitalization does not matter. All right. You probably wouldn't want to go into here alone. There are many things in here, like the poisonous dart frog, that can kill you. I do believe the biggest one is in South America. Jungle is correct. 1 point for Almighty. We're going to play another round of Password, where you guys must correctly guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give. All right, if you put a liquid in the freezer, it does this. Freeze is correct, but the first person to correctly spell it right on my screen was Refwolf. Congratulations, Refwolf. I see you're gaining on Almighty Royal. All right, guys, we have a few more minutes until the break. A few more minutes till the 5-minute break. It was you. Don't show you. Simon, it was not you. Simon, it was not you. I can absolutely show, though. I can absolutely show. I want to show every time there's a dispute, unless it gets too much. Very soon, I will have the chat permanently up. Like I said, I'm just working through it. Refwolf said freeze spelled correctly first. Capitalization does not matter. All right, continuing on. We're going to play another round of Password. Hey, Richard Green, welcome back. We have 2 more streams today. We're almost halfway through this one. We're going to play another round of Password, where you guys have to guess my one-word password and get a point on the scoreboard based off the clues and the hints that I give you. All right. This is when you are washing your hands, you would take a lot of soap, and you would do this to blank your hands up. I believe the definition is actually on Blurt for this yesterday. Lather is correct. Another point for Almighty Royal. Richard Green, welcome back. Welcome back, Richard. Good to see you. Glad you guys are liking this. It's so cool to see you guys continuously come back and have some fun. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Password. Password is where I will give you guys clues and hints, and the first person to guess my one-word password correctly will get a point on the scoreboard. You are not allowed to have typos. Capitalization does not matter. Awesome, Richard. Good to see you back. All right, guys, here's the hint for my one-word password. You must not have a typo. If you are in school, a bell would blank you from the class. Dismiss is correct. 1 point for Almighty. Just got back from skating. All right. What a great time. What a great way to just kind of chill and relax. Working out the body. Now you're working out the mind. Although I know skating can be a little tricky and kind of have to work out your hand-eye coordination or eye-foot coordination quite a lot. Man, I'm struggling to think there. Oh, right. All right. We're going to play one more round of Password, and then I believe it's time for the break. Just about. Got to stay young and in shape. Heck yeah, you do. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Password, where the first person to correctly guess my one-word password, spelled correctly, will get a point on the scoreboard based off of my hint and clues. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. You have to use those letters to make words. Alphabet is correct. Another point for Almighty. I thought singing the alphabet would be the best hint. All right, let me see. How much time do we have? We'll do a round of Blurt, since I know it's a fan favorite. We'll do one round of Blurt, and then we're going to take our halfway break. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. Almighty Royal, just so you know, I'm going to go on... It's funny, guys. I'm going to go on a 5-minute break after this round, and then I'll be back for another hour or so. And this stream is always 2 hours long with a 5-minute break halfway through. All right, guys, we're going to play one round of Blurt, where I will give you a dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, to remove by rubbing or wiping. The second definition, the part of the day from noon until sunset. It is not wipe. It is not clean. Afternoon is correct. I will repeat the first one, to remove by rubbing or wiping. To remove by rubbing or wiping. Do it all the time on this channel. Well, erase is correct. Erase doesn't say do it all the time. I just do it when I make a mistake. All right, the first person on my screen who said afternoon would be Refwolf. 1 point for Refwolf. And the first person on my screen who said afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry, I just did that one. The first person to say race, I forgot afternoon was answered first, would be Richard Green. Hey, Richard. Welcome to the scoreboard, Richard. Just so you guys know, I am constantly trying to improve this stream any way I can to make your guys' experience better. I know the scoreboard can be hard to read. That's just it is a priority. It's a low priority, though, just because I know there's other things that are more important, like figuring out the chat on screen. But I would like to have the scoreboard on an electronic for you guys, so you guys can clearly see it. Just so you know, all the pink names are already in the Hall of Champions. All the blue names are currently competing to enter the Hall of Champions. Oh, yeah, that's right. It is Javier's dog's birthday, which he did confuse with his brother's birthday. Sorry to throw him under the bus there. I was just laughing really hard when he told me that last night. He's a dear friend of mine. So he told me that, and man, I had to laugh a lot. It was pretty funny. Sorry for throwing you under the bus there, Javier. Just like that was a really, really fun one. All right, guys, we are going to... Yeah, that's fair. It is 2 days apart. That is fair. It is confusing. I apologize if that was too personal. I just was still laughing about that from last night. Be very careful not to do that again. All right, guys, we are going to go on a 5-minute break. We're going to go on a 5-minute break. With the sound of the gong, the 5 minutes starts. And at the sound of the air horn, the 5 minutes is over. And I do keep a stopwatch on me, so I'm back in exactly 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and start it right now. And I'll read the scores when I get back. was a few seconds late. My apologies. We'll be starting off soon, and I always do guess that balloon to give people time to come back from the break. No, sorry to hear about your Rottweiler, Richard. Chug, chug, chug. No, trying not to drink these things. They're not good for you. Shoot, I got some in my eye the other stream, and it burned, giving me more evidence of how I shouldn't drink them. All right, guys, we're gonna play a round of Guess That Balloon. First person to correctly guess what I made will get a point on the scoreboard. I think moving forward, you guys are not going to be allowed to guess until the balloon is off the... Actually, you can just guess whenever. I don't really care. Hey, Just for Fishing, welcome back. Welcome back. Not a sword, no cat. Guys, I do have to learn new balloons every single week to try to stay ahead of you guys. Fun one. Not a bee, not a fox. A fox. I'll go right down fox and see if I can try to make a distinguishable fox here. Not a duck, not a swan, not a heart, not a heart. Balloon one's tricky for me. I always have to stay ahead of you guys by learning new ones. This one is not a new one. Oh, Dragonfly was correct. Dragonfly was correct. I'm going to go ahead and finish it for anyone who might be new here so they can see. Because some of you guys can guess what I'm going to make by how much I pump it up or when or how I start twisting it. Go ahead and finish the Dragonfly. Here's a very, very large Dragonfly. Yes. I know, almighty. Let me go ahead and see who got Dragonfly first on my screen. It does look like it was Richard, but I'm going to go all the way back up to the top and check. All right, it was Richard. Went for Richard. Yes, almighty. A lot of the regulars know the balloons that I make. That's why I'm always adding. I do try to add new games every single week. And I guess that balloon is a fun one for a lot of people. So I have to learn new balloons all the time. We're going to go ahead and do another round of Guess That Balloon. Do one more round of Guess That Balloon. We'll move on to another game. If your blood boils, are you overheating? I don't know. That's a funny question, though. Fish is not specific enough. Typically, animal is also not specific, and I do not accept balloon either as an answer. Not a monkey. Shark is correct. I probably shouldn't have said fish is not specific enough. I only make a couple aquatic animals. I do only make a couple aquatic animals so far. I believe I don't know how to make a shark and an octopus. Although the octopus I messed up every single time, so you guys haven't seen it in a while. So I still have to go back and practice that one. Here was the shark. Fun fact about the shark is people normally don't even get it correctly until I start drawing the face. I'm going to go ahead and draw it so you guys can see it, though. Here is a little shark. Let me go ahead and see who got it first, and we will carry on. On my screen, I forgot, I will read the scores. I did forget to read that. My apologies. Ref Wolf with the point for shark. Yes. Oh, Ref Wolf with the point for Shark. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read the points. Among the champions, Phantom has 3, Javier has 9, Baronator 1, the Wizard 3. Among the people competing to become a champion, John has 1, Daniel 2, Almighty Royal has 12, Ref Wolf 7, Simon D 3, Just for Fun Fishing 1, and Richard 2. I will be doing 2 more streams today, so there will be 3 people entered into the Hall of Fame today, as long as all the streams go good. All right, guys, we are going to continue on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct definition for either word will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition: one of the round green seeds of a plant that has long green pods. The second definition: the meat of a calf. P is correct. 1 point for Almighty. The meat of a calf. Beef is the meat of an adult cow, but there's a specific name for the meat of a calf. A calf is a baby cow, by the way. Venison is the meat of a deer. Veal is correct. You did spell it wrong, but typos are okay. Veal is spelled V-E-A-L. Veal is correct. Just for Fun Fishing, that's a point for you. That's okay. Typos are allowed in this game. This channel is called Mindful Discovery, though, so while we're playing games, we can learn we'll learn a little bit too, though. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Blurt, a fan favorite. Blurt is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words in the first person. Veal is just what you call the meat from a baby cow. That's it. So how you would call beef for the meat of an adult cow, it's just veal. It's a baby cow. All right, we're going to move on to Blurt. Blurt is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition: the side of something that is opposite the front. The second definition: a large group of soldiers organized and trained to fight on land. Hey, Bronny Lee, welcome back. Bronny is a champion in the Hall of Champions. Back is correct. 1 more point for Almighty. A large group of soldiers organized and trained to fight on land. Army is correct. First person on my screen who said back and army. First person on my screen who said back would be Almighty. First person, I'm going to go ahead and give you your point so I don't forget. The first person on my screen to say army would be Ref Wolf. That was a close one, though. Bronny, welcome back. We're going to play another round of Blurt where I will give Bronny. We also added a new game for today. But we're going to play another round of Blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. And the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: an electric railroad that runs underground. The second definition: a stand for holding a painting or displaying a sign or picture. Subway is correct. 1 point for Almighty. Almighty, you're currently at 15 with Ref Wolf second with 8 points. It is not canvas. It is not tripod. Tripod would be close enough. It is easel. It is easel. I have to go ahead and add Bronny to the scoreboard. Bronny, welcome to the scoreboard and welcome back. Thanks for joining another game night. Bronny, you'll notice your name is getting entered into the scoreboard as pink. And if pink names on the scoreboard are already champions, so they're not competing for the Hall of Champions. And guys, just because you're here playing doesn't mean that you have to compete. I do enter somebody into the Hall of Champions every stream because some people do like the competitive nature, but if you're here just for fun, that is okay. Because I'm having fun. Go check my man. All right. Who guessed at the top? Almighty Royal, was it Easel? I will check. I will check. What were the 2 answers? Subway and Easel. I did give Almighty Royal the point for Subway. Oh, Almighty Royal, you did get the point for Easel. I apologize. Ronnie, I'm going to keep you on the scoreboard because I know you're going to get another point if you stay. And that point does go to Almighty. Thank you guys for checking. Thank you guys. One thing I really like about the community that we're building, and not only we get to play games with each other, but you guys have been very, very fair with each other, and I really, really appreciate that. We want this environment to be fun, friendly, and fair. That's what we're going for. Fun, friendly, and fair. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I give you, I agree, Almighty, it's all love. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first and up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. Up to the first definition, a rounded body with a hard shell that is produced by some animals and from which young animals hatch. The second definition, an airship that resembles a large balloon and can be steered and can carry things. Egg is correct. Bronny, I know you had a really weird typo. Blimp is correct, but I'm going to give it to you because H is close to G. First person on my screen to say was Bronny, but I do believe he meant egg, so you will get your point. First person on my screen to say blimp was Refwolf. Refwolf, you are catching up. All right, guys, we're going to Kzo the Shotgun. Welcome. This is a game show where I host them and you guys play them. All right, guys, we're gonna play another round of Blurt where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. All right, Richard said egg at the top. Give me 1 second. We do go off of my screen for the tiebreaker. As you guys can see on my screen, Bronny said EHH. H is close to G. I understand the typo. Then Almighty, then Richard, then Refwolf. Remember, guys, if you guys send it at the same time, it will show on your screen that you got it first. Of course, I do make mistakes, though, so it is always, always okay to check me. Fair is what I'd go for. All right, we're going to play another round of Blurt. I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word will get the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a small, simply built house. The second definition, a song of joy, praise, or thanksgiving, especially to God. Hut is not correct. Tiny home is not correct. These are 1 word. Cabin is correct. Prayer and praise are not correct. Hymn is correct. First person on my screen who said cabin would be Refwolf. Where are you, Refwolf? Refwolf, you're currently at 10 points. First person on my screen to say hymn was Bronny. You have to make sure your points are a little bit bigger than that so I can read them. If you guys ever see me put a dot in, I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that so I can distinguish when a round starts and ends for some kind of system to go back and be able to check easier. All right, we're going to move on to another round of Blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a seat as for a rider on the back of a horse, padded and usually made of leather. The second definition, a small branch of a tree or shrub. Saddle is correct. 1 point to Almighty. It is not a stick. It is not a tire. The small branch of a tree or shrub. It is smaller than a stick. And extremely small. I see, Refwolf, you're close enough. You're trying to say it, Refwolf. You said twick. It is twig. You are close enough. Kzo, stick around. You will get it. A lot of people have sometimes struggled to get their first point on the show, but once you get your first point on the show, you're entered into the Hall of Fame, where I have almost 100 people in the Hall of Fame, and if you get the most points on this game show in one stream and you're not already on the Hall of Champions, you will enter the Hall of Champions. On my screen, the first person to say saddle was Almighty. Let me go ahead and give you your point. And the first person to say twig, do you realize there was some typos? But it would be Refwolf. He was close enough. This game. Hey, Maria is back. Maria, welcome back, Maria. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt where I will give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person done with the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. I'll have you guys know we are almost out of the Blurt cards, which means I'll be removing it from the game for a couple weeks. I'll shuffle the cards and bring it back in. I'm going to give it time for people to kind of let it slip from the regulars' memories, all the cards. We've been playing it for a couple weeks, though. All right, the first definition, a natural hot spring that shoots steam and hot water in the air. The second definition, a sheltered place along a coast that serves as a port for ships. Geyser is correct. 1 more point for Brawny. A sheltered place along a coast that serves as a port for ships. Guys, I want you to remember, if you hear the word in the definition, it is not. I'm sorry, typically for dictionaries, they do not use the word they are defining in the definition. A sheltered place along a coast that serves as a port for ships. Ooh, this is a tricky one. A sheltered place along a coast that serves as a port for ships. It is not marina. I did not know this was the definition for this. I'll give you guys a hint. It starts with an H. A sheltered place along a coast that serves as a port for ships. Starts with an H. I do not see it. Hangar is close, but it's not quite right. Hangar, I believe, is for airplanes. A sheltered place. I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock. When I find my... Not a huddle. 10 seconds on the clock. And I will go back and make sure that nobody said it. And the 10 seconds are up. Oh. It was a harbor. It was a harbor. Harbor was the correct. Hey, Steven, it was it's not a question, it's the definition of a word. That is what Blurt is. I give you the definition of a word. That was hard. It's a sheltered place along a coast that serves as a port for ships. That was hard. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it. I would not have gotten it. I would have said probably the same things you guys said. I'm going to go back and make sure that I don't see harbor anywhere on here. You guys had some good guesses. You guys had some good guesses. That was a hard one. That was a hard one. Simon, you said you got a typo. Let me see if any of your typos are close. Simon, I'm not seeing where any of your typos would have been close to harbor. You had has J, hanged, Hanerge. I'm not going to give the point to that one because I don't think any of those were really close to harbor. I don't think any of those were really close, even kind of close to harbor. So I'm not going to give you the point to that one. If there are too many disputes on the typos, I will have to take that rule out, though. But for now, I'm going to keep it in there. When I say too many, I mean if there's dozens of disputes a stream, we got to keep it fluid. All right, we're going to move on to another round of Blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to get it correct will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition: edible corn kettles that burst open into a white, fluffy mass when heated. The second definition: one of the 7 main land masses of the Earth. Popcorn is correct. 1 point for Almighty. Where are you, Almighty? Continent is correct. 1 point for... Let me just make sure. Javier. Almighty, I'm just going to be moving 3 of your points over, because sometimes when I put them too close together, it's hard for me to tell when I have to do the slash through, so I didn't remove or add any points there. I mean, I did extra point for getting popcorn right, but sometimes I just have to move the points, because if they're too condensed, I can't actually tell. Oh, all right, guys, we're going to do another round of Blurt where I give you the dictionary definition. You were the first one to type popcorn. I will check, Simon. I will check before we move on. Give me 1 second, guys. I know everybody will be very excited once I can get the chat on the screen. I know I will be excited once I can get the chat on the screen. Be a lot easier for me. On my screen, Almighty said popcorn first. That means you both typed it around the same time in real life, but Almighty typed it first. All right, we are going to play another round. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. Hey, Baronator, welcome back. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. When you say try restarting my live, what would that mean? Do you mean refreshing the live? Oh, you're talking to Simon. Okay, I was going to say, I don't think I can restart it. I will refresh my page, though. I'm going to refresh my page, and I'm going to see if that changes it. And if I have to refresh my page every time, I will do it. I'm going to go back real quick, because this is developing stream. I'm going to go back and see. Nope, it is the same. Okay, continuing on. I'm going to play another round of Blurt. The first definition, an aircraft that has no engine and flies on air currents. The second definition, a large mass of ice moving very slowly down a valley or a mountain. Paper plane. It was glider. Glider's correct, but a paper plane is funny. That's a funny answer. An aircraft that has no engine and flies on air currents. I mean, paper plane would fit that too, but it's not. That was funny. It's glacier. Paper plane. I mean, that fits it perfectly, but that's not. That's funny. That's good. Glider, Rough Wolf. If we were not going off the exact word, I would have given it to you for that. But we do go off of the exact word for this one. That would have been one of those close enough ones. This game is so fun. Glacier was correct. 1 point to Bronny. Yeah, I felt like you guys had a lot of correct answers for the harbor one as well. I felt like you guys had a lot of correct answers for the harbor one. Also, I do believe somebody said the other day that when they switched to a computer, it was faster for them than being on their phone. Also, if you guys are on your phone and you're at home, if you're on mobile data, you can try switching to your Wi-Fi. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt, where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, to rise up off the ground by using the legs. The second definition, a piece of metal or rock that attracts iron, steel, and some other substances. Magnet is correct. 1 point for Almighty. I'll reread the first one. To rise up off the ground by using the legs. Oh, stand is not correct, by the way. Oh, wrong marker. Trying not to ruin my markers anymore, so I do not see it. Nope. To rise up off the ground by using the legs is a 4-letter word. It is not stand, but that is close. Jump is correct. 1 point. Let me make sure that Richard was the first person to say jump. Yes. Good job, Richard. All right, guys. We're going to play one more round of Blurt, and then we're going to switch it up a little bit. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, one of a pair of sturdy metal rings connected by a chain and locked around a prisoner's wrist. The second definition, A branch or rod that a bird holds with its claws while resting. Cuffs is close enough. It's handcuffs. Cuffs is close enough. A branch or rod that a bird holds with its claws while resting. That's not what I thought. Perch is correct. Learning so much from this stuff. First person on my screen to say cuffs or handcuffs, both acceptable answers would be Almighty. Almighty, you currently have 20 points. First person on my screen to say perch. First person on my screen, nope. Would, just make sure I'm getting this right. Be Almighty again. All right, guys, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to play another round of Password. This is where you guys have to guess my one-word password correctly to get a point on the scoreboard based off the clues and the hints that I give. All right. This is something that you can eat. In fact, this is the only type of meat you can eat if you're a pescatarian, I believe is the correct word. Fish is correct. 1 point for Refwolf. Was I correct about pescatarian? They only eat, like, fish is the only meat they eat. I think that was the correct word. 1 point for Refwolf. Ronnie said, whoa, I think I was first. I'm going to go ahead and pop out the chat and show you real quick. Do you like to be fair? I do like to be fair. First person on my screen will be highlighted. Who said fish? Refwolf. Ronnie, you're about 2 under. Actually, you guys all said fish right around the same time, and this is the start of the round. First person was Refwolf. Like I said, guys, I will have the chat up here soon. It is my priority for tonight. If it is not up by tomorrow, it will be up very, very soon. I just have to make sure I'm following the community guidelines, and I learned I absolutely can get banned if I put the chat up and somebody says that something inappropriate and then somebody else reports it. I can get my YouTube channel banned. So I'm sorry about the delay. It will be up permanently once everything can be done properly. I will go back and check for handcuffs. On my screen, you were technically the first person who did say handcuffs, but I accepted cuffs as an answer. Cuffs was from Almighty Royal. He did say cuffs first, and I did accept that. What's my name, by the way? My name is Game Host. That's funny. My name is Shannon. I don't mind giving that information out because it is other places in my channel. All right. Master of Ceremonies. That's funny. All right, guys, we're going to read, speaking of ceremonies, there's your first hint for the next password, where you guys must correctly guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give. People go here to get married. And this is a religious place. Chapel is correct. 1 point to Almighty. Funny you say Master of Ceremonies. I did actually just minister my first wedding recently as an ordained minister, which anybody can sign up for online in 30 seconds at getordained.org. It's pretty interesting. I even have a card that says I could do it. Not that you need it, but anybody can sign up and do it, at least in the United States, and minister a wedding, which is really cool. You do not have to have any religious affiliation to be able to do it, but it is a very unique and fun experience. Actually, the person who I married to their partner is a player on this game. But do not give out personal information. I'm not going to say who. We're going to move on to another round of password, where you guys have to guess my one-word password based on the clues and the hints that I give. You are not allowed to have typos. All right. Velvet is a type of this. Cloth is a type of this. Clothing is made out of different types of this. It's not pattern. It's not fabric. Fabric is close. Fabric is close. Also, wood is a type of this as well. Wood is a type of this. Material is correct. Richard Green, I believe you're the first one to say material. You will get your point. I do have to make that third point a little bit higher. I'm going to read the scores real quick before we continue on. All right, so we have John at 1, Daniel 2, Almighty 22, Ref Wolf 13, Simon D 3, Just for Fun Fishing 2, Richard 4. I will be doing 2 more streams today, guys. 2 more streams today. I'd stream for 2 hours, and then I take 1 hour off, stream for 2 hours, take 1 hour off. How do I calculate who's first in the Hall of Champions? So actually, the Hall of Champions is numbered by when you enter the Hall of Champions. So if you see the number, so example, default is the 7th person to enter. Joe Rogan was the 8th person to enter. That obviously just somebody's name. I am considering taking the numbers off. Yeah, you're staying up for that. Cool. But yeah, that's yes, I do not have a scoreboard right now. I actually do have a picture of every point ever earned in this show in case in the future I do want to implement a leaderboard system, an overall leaderboard system. I'm not implementing that now just because there's a lot of things that are more important, like having this chat on the screen and having a better viewable scoreboard. But I have all of the points tracked in case I want to implement something in the future. All right, we're going to move on to another round of password, where you guys I will give you clues and hints for my one-word password. The first person to get it correct will get a point on the scoreboard. All right. You want to scratch this. It's really annoying when you have it. Some plants cause it. Some bites from, say, like a mosquito will cause this. Itch is correct. 1 point to Ref Wolf. Are you guys liking password? Password, this is the second day I've tried password. Please let me know if you guys are liking password. Also, after the stream ends, I'll stick around for a few minutes while I'm setting up for the next one and ask you guys opinions. And, you know, password is bomb. Awesome. Before the younger generation's bomb was not good, but me being in a younger generation, it is good. Isn't slang funny? Simon, have a good one. I'm glad you guys like password because I'm really enjoying password, so glad you guys like it. And 5-second rule is the first time we're trying it on this stream, so I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do that. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of password. Simon, hope to see you later. Bronny, I have it written. I can see it right there. Say less, catchphrase, and guess who. I have looked into guess who a little bit. I still have to look into say less and catchphrase. I have a priority list of things that I have to get to, and right now the chat is the #1 priority I have in when I'm done streaming for the day before we start the next one. The chat is my #1 priority. I need to get that up because a lot of people complain, and I really, really want it to be fair. I do have all of you guys' suggestions written down on a board right there. I did actually create a digital game called Guess the Flag. I actually... just so you guys know, I have an entire new setup coming that I will, if it goes well, it's going to be of countries. I do not do U.S.-specific trivia of any type just because most of my audience is not in the U.S. But I do have another setup completely coming that I plan on switching between this setup and the other setup, which will be a completely new array of games. Completely different games. And... that's in the works, but I'm going to be leaving for next weekend for a family event. And so that new setup I'm working on, it probably won't come for a couple of weeks at this point because I need multiple games to work for this new setup at once. So yeah, guys, the stream is developing and you're going to see at least 2 major setups. And every time you see the setup, it will kind of give you a good feel of what those streams will be like. But the concept is always the same. Points on a scoreboard, somebody entering the Hall of Champion, somebody entering the Hall of Fame. That's always going to stay the same. I like that, Richard. I like that. I'm actually going to probably just implement that in one of the games I have. Hey, that's okay, Ruffle. We are your family. I'll probably actually stream if I can on a lot of holidays because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't have a lot of, they're not a lot. There are some people out there who don't have things to do on the holiday. Maybe they don't have family and stuff. And so I would like to stream on the holidays for people out there who have to spend it alone. So that way they don't have to spend it alone. You can just come and play games. So we're going to continue on with another round of Password. We're going to continue on with another round of Password where I will give you guys clues and hints to my one-word password. The first person to correctly guess it, letter by letter, we'll get a point on the scoreboard. This is very similar to a toad. However, it can live underwater, or at least it needs to kind of live near water. Frog is correct. 1 point for Refwolf. Oh, Refwolf, you're gaining. You're only 7 points away from Almighty. And we have about 15, 16 minutes left, so we're going to keep going. All right, guys. I have to be careful how password is explained because the password is in how I usually word this. The first person to correctly say my one-word password, you're already getting hints, will get a point on the scoreboard. Based off the clues and hints that I give, the first person to correctly say my one-word password, I almost just said it, will get a point on the scoreboard. I'll give you guys a hint. This is the sentence where I normally say this. The first person to correctly say my one-word password. This is a word I probably say a lot on this stream. I say this word, guess is correct. I say this word so much. I read that word and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to switch up how I explain this. Guess is correct. And I do believe, yes, Almighty Royal, a frog is very similar to a toad. A toad they're pretty much almost the same thing. They're not the same thing, but a toad can travel very far because a toad has pockets on its back that can hold the water to keep it hydrated, where a frog doesn't, so a frog has to live near water. All right, I do believe the first person who said guess was Richard Green, and he did spell it right. Good job, Richard, coming in with 5 points. Yes, it is the same animal family, kind of like cousins in a sense. Some people like to consider them that. Tree frogs are not aquatic. That is interesting. I did not consider tree frogs. Sorry, I live in the United States. I don't even know if we have them here. Good guess, Richard. Oh, we already did this. We're going to do some more passwords. All right, guys. Password is where you have to guess my one-word password to get a point on the scoreboard. You use salt to blank meat. A lot of people want fresh food instead of food that is like this. Salt is a natural way to blank food. It is not dry, and then it is shelf stable for a long time. A lot of people think that when you do this to food, you make it last a lot longer, but it's not healthy. Preserve is correct. Preserve is correct. And I think the point goes to Brawny. And I'm trying to use the word as correctly as I can in my hints because I'm asking you guys to say it correctly. So I can't say preserve, like if I don't say preservatives or try to, use preservatives as my hint, I try to say preserve exactly. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another round of password where you guys have to correctly guess my one-word password to get a point. These are ancient, and people believe aliens built them a long time ago, and this is one of the 7 wonders of the world. There's a few of them. They're in Egypt, are the most well-known ones. There's also some in Mexico. Pyramid is correct. I am sorry. I just went against what I said. because pyramid was correct. It was not pyramids, and I do say I did give it off as a plural, but pyramid was correct. You should have tried to say it as a singular. My apologies, but I'm going to give the point to Richard. All right, we're going to play another round of password, and then we're going to switch it up. Oh, if something is slightly wet, it is this. If something is slightly wet, it is this. If your walls are this, you could potentially get mold. Damp is correct. 1 point for Ref Wolf. Where are you, Ref Wolf? Catching up. We're going to move on to Blurt, a fan favorite for you guys, for a lot of you guys. Blurt is where I give the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on this scoreboard. The first definition: a small fenced area in which animals are kept. The second definition: the tough center part of an apple, pear, and some other fruits. Pen is correct. Javier said fen. I'll give it to him. I'll answer your question in 1 second, Ref Wolf. Core is correct. I have to make sure that you're the first person to say it. Almighty, another point. All right, I'm going to read the scores real quick. I'm going to tell you guys how much time we have left before the winner is announced. I see that my screen's a little lopsided, so I see my tripod was set up wrong. My apologies on that. We have about 10 minutes left in the game, 15 minutes left in the stream. Javier, you have 11 points. Baronator 1, Phantom 3, The Wizard 3, Brawny 5. Now moving on to the people competing for the champions. Just read the champion score. John 1, Daniel 2, Almighty Royal, who's currently in the lead with 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 points. Ref Wolf with 16, Simon 3, Just for Fun Fishing 2, Richard 6. So, all right, we're going to continue on. What happens if it's only champions playing? Well, then nobody would enter, and you guys would just be competing for the high score. However, it only takes one person. If only champions are playing, then it only takes one person to get 1 point to be entered into the Hall of Champions. So, we're going to move on to another round of Blurt. I might do something else special for a champion if only champions are playing, but I that has yet to happen, and I don't think it will happen because the stream is growing a little bit every day. We're going to go ahead and play another round of Blurt. Where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: an insect that has hard, glossy front wings that fold over its back. The second definition: a Chinese sailing ship. Beetle is correct. 1.2. That's a tricky one. A Chinese sailing ship. This one's going to be really tricky. I actually am conflicted on who to give the point to for Beetle between Brawny and Almighty. Almighty, you said bottle, and I could see Beetle being autocorrected to bottle. Please be honest there. Almighty, did you mean to type Beetle when you said bottle? Give it to him. You can have it, no biggie. That's a weird one. I'm just going to go ahead and give it to Brawny. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Brawny since we have 2 people competing, and that one was close, but it was still pretty off. Junk is correct. Junk is correct. Ref Wolf, they were close with Jack, but Junk is correct, and Jack is pretty different, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to Javier. Guys, eventually, if the typos get too complicated... Okay, if the typos do get complicated, I will have to take them out. Honestly, I've never heard that either, Junk. All right, we're going to move on to another round of Blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can't be handed out to the players. The first definition: a thick, sweet, yellowish substance made by bees from the nectar of flowers. The second definition, the place where two or more bones meet or come together. Honey is correct. First person on my screen was Refwolf. Where are you, Refwolf? Joint is correct. First person on my screen was Almighty. And Bronny, I know you did just mention something about prizes early on. I did say one day I would like to hand out prizes. For now, there are some legal hoops I have to go through because there are some people who are minors under the age of 18 in the United States who play this, and so I have to be careful with prizes because there are other legal things. The show is not profitable right now, so we cannot currently afford to give out prizes. But it is in my plan to be able to hand them out one day. But that is not a soon thing because, like I said, there are legal things I have to abide to when giving out prizes. All right, we're going to continue on to another round. Can you send in prizes? I do have a Hall of Support, and nobody's currently on the Hall of Support because I don't push it because I'd rather people just come and have fun. If you ever donate to the channel, I will enter your name into the Hall of Support. I'm just going to mention, and I'm going to move on. My Venmo and my PayPal are mindfuldiscovery@yahoo.com, and my Cash App is Shannon1742. I do have the Hall of Fame. You must earn 1 point to enter. The Hall of Support is on a clipboard that I keep misplacing. I think it's right there behind the thing. Nobody's currently on the Hall of Support. I haven't really been pushing the Hall of Support just because I'm having a lot of fun. Shannon, or I will type it in. I will go ahead and type them in real quick. I will type them in the chat real quick. Shannon1742 is my Cash App. Oh, let me just, give me 1 second. I have it written down, and I just want to make sure that I have it. I'm going to just copy and paste it into here so I don't make any mistakes. And if you guys ever donate, please send me your username so I can add you guys to the Hall of Support. And we're going to move on to another round of Blurt. And there's no pressure on that, guys. I would appreciate it, but there's no pressure. We're here to have fun, so we're going to continue that. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt because I know we have a fierce competition between Refwolf and Almighty. So, Blurt is where... I think we just have regulars in, so I'm just going to go ahead and read the definitions. Up to 2 points can be handed out. First definition is a woman's handbag. The second definition, a shallow frying pan with a long handle. Purse is correct. Pan is not correct. Wok is not correct. Skillet is correct. First person on mine to say purse was Almighty. And the first person to say skillet was Bronny. And guys, please don't feel pressured on the Hall of Support because I'm having so much fun here and I don't want to turn anybody off of this game. I'd rather you guys come here and have fun than me try to push that stuff. We're going to continue on another round of Blurt, guys, because we only have a few minutes left and we have some fierce competition. We have about 3 minutes left. Another round of Blurt where I will read the dictionary definition. Thank you, Bronny. I appreciate that. I'm going to read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, the color of most plant leaves and growing grass. The second definition, the part of a plant that produces seeds. Green is correct. 1 point for Bronny. It's not over till it's over. The part of a plant that produces seeds. And give Bronny his point. The part of a plant that produces seeds. It is not sac. It is not pollen. Pollen, I believe, is what is transferred from one to the other. Hint. It starts with an F. This is typically what people will call an entire plant, not knowing that this is the head of a beautiful looking plant. Flower is correct. 1 point for Javier. 1 point for Javier. Yes, typically a lot of people will look at a flower and just call it a flower, but it's actually only the end of it is actually called the flower. All right, we're going to move on to another round of Blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to know the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: a bar or a rod for holding up a vehicle with 2 wheels, such as a bicycle, when parked or not being used. The second definition: a circle made of leaves, branches, or flowers that are tied or twisted together. Stand is close enough. It was kickstand, a point to Bronny. Reef is close enough. It was wreath. Wreath is a really weird word to spell. I don't even know if I would have spelled it right. A circle made of leaves, branches, or flowers that are tied or twisted together. Wreath, W-R-E-A-T-H. I know we're here to have fun, but we might as well learn a little bit on the way. This is actually one of my favorite parts about the show is I'm learning so much. I'm going to give that point to Richard Green for Reef. Richard, where are you? We're going to see how much time we have. I try to be very, very careful with the timing of this podcast because I don't want to give, say, somebody an extra 10 minutes to try to get more points because I want to be fair with the entrance of the Hall of Champions. Hey, Mad Z, welcome back. All right, guys, we have another minute left. We're gonna do another round of password. All right, guys. If password, I'm going to give you clues and hints to be the first person to guess my one-word password. You may not have spelling errors. A judge in a court of law is going to determine if you are innocent or blank. If you guilty is correct, a point for Riffle. Where are you, Riffle? I think we have time for another password. We have time for another password. All right, guys, I'm just going to read it. Or I'm sorry, not read it. This is on pants to keep the top part together. You have to undo this to use the bathroom. When you're done using the bathroom, you have to use this. This zipper is correct. One more point for Bronny. All right, guys, we are officially an hour and 55 minutes into the stream, which means that the game is over. So I am going to go ahead and read off all of the answers. Phantom 3, Javier 13, Baronator 1, The Wizard 3, Bronny 10. Now for the people competing for the Hall of Champions, John 1, Daniel 2, Almighty Royal 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, Ref Wolf 5, 10, 15, 18, Simon D 3, Just for Fun Fishing 2, Richard 2. Guys, this is the end of the stream. I would like to announce the winner of today's stream will be entering the Hall of Champions will be Almighty Royal. Congratulations, Almighty Royal. Luke to Duke, welcome. Just missed it. Congratulations. If you guys ever come into the stream and you see the victory sign up there, that means it is at the end of the stream. No more points are awarded. Congratulations, Almighty Roy. Excuse me. Hey, Luke to Duke, awesome. I was surprised not to see you in with how much you're commenting, but I'm glad that you're gonna be in the next two. I'm very glad you're gonna be in the next two. I know you're competing with Javier to try to get that high score. Almighty Royal, congratulations. I will be adding your name on the Hall of Champions between this stream and the next stream. And then everybody else, I think we do we have anybody entering? Yes, Daniel and John will be entered into the Hall of Fame, where we are almost at 100 people. We are very close to 100 people in the Hall of Fame. I'd like to congratulate all of you guys for bringing the first 100 players on this game show. It's very cool. You guys are also numbered on when you enter the Hall of Fame. Mad Z, I probably won't be in your next stream because it's 12 a.m. So you got to sleep by. Hey, that's okay, man. I hope you come. I'm going to try to do some in the mornings at some point. I'm still setting up, and so I'm just not, before I change my schedule. I'm just trying to set everything up to be in a good flow. Ronnie did come in an hour late and snatch 10 points. That is true. All right, guys, I'm going to hang out for a few minutes while I set up for the next stream a little bit. Talk to you guys, hang out. Congratulations with a couple people entering the Hall of Fame, and congratulations for Almighty Royal entering the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Champions. It's rare that somebody comes in for the first time and enters the Hall of Champions, but it does happen. There's been a few people. It's been a few people. Hey, Richard, no problem. Guys, the reason I like to do a few streams a day is because I understand we are all in different time zones around the world, and I want as many people to come in and play as possible. Yes, Bronny, I thought you did it. You practice for days on end. It did happen to Luke to do it too. Baronator, I hope to see you again. Guys, this is the part of the stream where I pop the balloons because I have to pop them anyway. Mental push-ups. All right, Ref Wolf. Good luck with your football game. Hope you have a good season. It's good to get that physical work in after getting this mental work in. Both equally important for having a healthy life would be physical health and mental health, and something like this can really help your mental health. Can I make a chair out of balloons? I'm sure I could. I'm sure you wouldn't be able to sit on it without it popping, though. That'd be a fun challenge. I don't know. It'd be thousands of balloons to make it. In fact, actually, I don't know how many balloons it would take. It would take tens of thousands of balloons to make it to where you could sit on it without popping. Maybe not. That's an interesting one. And guys, I do appreciate all of the suggestions you guys do. Hey, Anissa, welcome back. Do it, do it, do it. I might have to do it for you guys. I think sometime I might just make a chair, and before the first stream of a day, and I'll just like set on it or set it down or something. You guys can see it. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. You're scrolling through live and saw this channel and like the concept and challenges. Brings it top notch. Thank you. I'm glad you guys all. Hey, Maddie Garcia, guys. Maddie Garcia is in. You just at the end. Maddie Garcia was the person who entered the Hall of Champions the last stream I did last night. Congratulations, Maddie. Maddie, I have 2 more streams today. Ronnie, I think I agree with that. I hope this channel gets pretty big, and I also do believe a lot of people are probably going to see what I'm doing. And I think there's going to be a lot of people after who also will try to do something similar to this, and that'll be exciting. You know, that'll be exciting. I've been making games for years. I'm not going to sit here and say I'll be the best one to do this, but I will promise that I will try to be the best. I will. David, welcome. Yes, the times, guys, when I figure out for my times for the day, I do make a community post to let you guys know the times for that day's stream. The next stream is going to be about 1 hour from now, 57 minutes from now. The next stream will be starting. Luke to Duke, the highest score today was Almighty Royal with 25 points. Thank you, Baronator. Nick, welcome back. Nick, we have another stream in an hour and then another stream in about 4 hours from now. Yes. Guys, I have been making games for about 7 years and stuff. I mean, I didn't make any of these, but I have a lot of games that I've made. And the next setup, you guys will actually see a lot of games I've made before and games I'm making specifically for this channel, for you guys. All right, David, I hope to see you on the scoreboard. Hope to see you maybe even enter the Hall of Champions, but you got to compete for that one. Check the community post, guys. Yes, check the community post for the times. I will post that. I don't post. I'm not going to post for tomorrow or the day after because life can take hold, and I like to only make the time commitments the day of, just because I don't want to disappoint anybody with committing to some times and then something comes up in life. So there are 2 more shows today, and this firework is for the new sub. There are 2 more posted, 2 more streams today, and you guys come back and check every day to see the times for that day. I will try to stream every single day. I do have a weekend. In 2 weekends from now, I will be taking my first time off of the stream just so I can go to a family event that I go to every single year. And after that, I'll be back on every single day. Javier, how did you become a mod? We're IRL friends. That's not true. Javier sent me $20. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He's my oldest friend. I'm just joking. I've known him for 17 years. He is literally my oldest. He is my longest friend that I've had. Sorry. I've known him since I was since about 5th grade. So no, you do not get to give me $20 and be a mod. No, you do not get to $20 to go mod. You hear it here. That's funny. No. Barinator, there's no pressure on donating. There's no pressure on donating. $20 does not equal mod, guys. I will have to start adding mods when this channel starts getting bigger. I'm only going to give it to people who gain my trust and who's been here for a while. This is not a pay to play or a pay to win kind of channel. Anybody can play. I have to be careful with the mods because I have to be careful because the 3 principles of this channel: fair, fun, and friendly. The 3 F's: fair, fun, and friendly. Now it's $50. I'm just gonna auction off the first mod thing. I guess that's funny. I'm not doing that. Oh my god, that's funny. How long have I been doing this? I think I started about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than 2 weeks ago. Just started doing it. I've been making games for about 7 years. It took a few years off to try some other things, but can you buy me as an NFT? Oh my god, Almighty's at 55. That's funny. Oh my god. Triple F's. Friendly, fun, and fair. That's what I'm going for. Friendly, fun, and fair. Been working on that a little bit to try to make them all the same letter. 100 for co-host. At one point, the 3 letters were ASS, and I'm like, yeah, that's not exactly friendly. So FFF is currently what I have. What's on my wrist? This is a tattoo. It's my favorite flower. It is a bleeding heart, and the flower actually looks like this. The flower actually looks like this. It looks like a little heart with a thing. It does look very, very similar to this. Is it a tomato? It is not a tomato. There's 4 of them around my wrist. I got it a long time ago. I don't know how I can show you. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. I don't think that's going to work. Maybe I'll just make a post of it sometime. Glad Mindful is more mindful. Daniel Lopez, thank you. Daniel, this is a game show where I host the games. You guys play them. I do 2 hours at a time. We have the next one in about 50 minutes. Thank you guys, by the way, for all the suggestions and everything you guys have given me. I have them written down. I see them written down right there. I also have documents and stuff, so I appreciate it. And you guys it will take time. You guys will recommend something and you might not see it for at least a few days just because I have a priority list of things that are crucial that I get done immediately. And then going down the list, guess this phrase. We have guess who, say less, and catchphrase are on there. Guess this phrase. I'm going to go ahead and write that down right now. Also, when I start getting I have more games I'm going to add to the stream. I'm trying not to add too many at once because I don't want to add 5 games in one stream and all 5 of them end up sucking and it just be a bad stream and a bad time for the regulars. So I try to only introduce 1 a day. However, I am taking a gamble with my next setup I'm working on because that's going to be completely all new games at once. So I'm trying to very carefully curate that. Well, I have removed 2 games from here so far. That definitely did suck. And there's even one that I'm on the fence about playing again or not. I'll write it down, Luke. I will write it down. Blurt is superior. I agree. Everybody loves Blurt. And trivia is a little tricky. I would like to add some trivia here as well. And I made a lot of trivia games in the past. I will not do U.S. specific trivia because 75% of you guys are not even in the U.S. And I'm aware of that because of the analytics and just talking to you guys, telling me you guys are from all over the world. The wheel is right here. The wheel is right here. I have the wheel. I will probably have the wheel in the. I might have the wheel today. I just wanted to be careful, and I wanted to check out the 2 games, make sure they were working well. Hey, Daniel, this fireworks for you for subbing. Yeah, check it out. I try to stream every single day, some days or multiple times. Trivia will separate the adults from the kids, so to speak. But guess the price game, wheel. I've got even some Family Feud cards and stuff. Guys, I have a lot. I went to the thrift store the other day. I bought a bunch of games. I actually went through almost every single board and card game I owned last night. And I'm running out of space. So what I did was I took everything that could either be used on the stream or used for the games that I'm developing on the side for other projects. I took everything useful out and I threw everything else away because I have way too many things. If you guys were to ask me how many games I own, I wouldn't even be able to give an answer because I have bits and pieces to probably over 100 games. Since I develop board games and card games, I need so many spare pieces. And it's a lot cheaper of a way to make prototypes. I think I have 50 decks of playing cards. Because sometimes when I'm making a card game, I'll take a playing card and I will do it. When was the last time I played Clue? I don't know if I've ever. Oh, I've played Clue. It's been years. I'll write it down though. I'll look into it. I will look into it. All right, guys. This has been fun. We are 12 minutes over when I normally end, but I'm going to start saying late on the streams every time just because I like hanging out with you guys, hearing from you guys, seeing what you guys do and don't like. I will be back in about 48 minutes, and I think the last stream I do every day, I'm going to hang out for way longer, but I would like to hang out for at least a few minutes after every stream. So if you guys ever come in and see the victory sign, the points are over. No, you guys rocked it. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So thank you guys for playing, and thank you guys for keeping it a fun, friendly, fair environment for everyone else who comes in. And thank you, Javier, for helping mod. All right, guys, I will be back in about 47 or so minutes for the next stream. Congratulations again, Almighty. You will see your name on the Hall of Champions after, and I have a couple people as well to add to the Hall of Fame tonight. For now, I will see you guys in about 47-ish minutes. Have a good one, guys. Thank you again.